Another thing that it's also, now that you mention it, not only once but several times, is the relations of animals in your films. You mentioned the cat, and of course, you as a filmmaker, or I as a filmmaker, will understand that you will shoot feet and meters of film to really know, especially with a cat, it's more unpredictable than probably a dog. And then there are the goats and the dogs also in the Bread Day, but also in Tulip, the relationship with the animals. That's all the film, about these they're not goats, they're borregos, sheep, the sheep they die when they are pregnant, and the preoccupation of these men about the death of all these animals and the camels. They seem so close, and they seem like protagonists also as human beings in your films. That's really amazing. I think in very few films, and especially documentaries, I've seen that relationship, that closeness, not only between the protagonists and the animals, but with the director, with the intention of the director to really emphasize this relationship, the animals with people.
Yes, but first of all, because animals are part of life, and I love life. I want to share my love with audience, and animals are part of life, and this is first. But second, animals, they never lie. They are organic all the time. They don't lie.
Sometimes they look at the camera.
Does matter. I mean, they are just like they are. They don't lie. They don't act for you, and that's why I like very much, because I don't trust words. I don't trust explanations. But they don't explain. They just live, and you just observe how they live. But it's very difficult. It's very difficult because some people say, who does know very well direction, they say, oh, it's easy to shoot animals. You shoot animals.
It's very difficult.
It's easy, but it's easy to look, but it's very hard to shoot, especially if you make long takes, because you cannot control them. You cannot train. Very often people ask me if you train them. I never train animals, of course. I never train. It's crazy. It could be crazy to train them. And you know why? Because also with animals, I like very much because I cannot control, and that's why I like. That's why I make films, because I don't like, I don't want to control everything. I mean, I control camera and everything, but I don't want to control life in front of camera. On the contrary, I like not to know. I like to doubt what can happen. That's why I don't write scripts for my documentaries. For instance, Pilichan said, last time he said he writes scripts all the time and he follows the script. I never write scripts for documentary. I made only once, I made script about for Highway, because I had French producer. And she said, you have to write script because of TV, because TV wants to have, to understand what you want to shoot. And I said, come on, but even if I write, then I will change everything. They said, okay, but please write. And I wrote something what I can imagine about this, And but then I changed. I made film absolutely different, completely different film. I wanted to make film about truck drivers who carry melons and watermelons from Kazakhstan to Moscow. And during preparation, just a few days before shooting, I changed subject completely, and I made film about circus. But but first we prepared film about truck drivers, and unfortunately for me, my producer, French producer, she didn't come for the shooting, and I changed subject a few days before shooting completely. And we prepared to go to follow the truck drivers. But just a few days before the shooting, I was in the market in Kazakhstan, in my town, and I saw the family, the circus family, and they were so strange, so brutal, at the same time that tender inside, that I decided to change subject. And that's why, for me, it's, why I never write scripts, because I respect people who, yes, that's possible to write scripts and to follow them. I think it's easier, but and for producers, it's much easier, of course. But for me, I make just what is interesting to me, what I like, what is interesting, and then I can change everything. And that's why I don't write. But I never start shooting without any previous idea about my subject. For me, very important to find at least one scene, at least one episode. And then I can develop. Then I can find around everything, but I have to capture only one scene. This is for me important. Then I develop it. But I never write script before the shooting. And during shooting as well. I just work every day during shooting, changing my idea and trying to construct everything, trying to understand what is film about. But I finish the film just with the last day of editing anyway, even last day of mixing. So very often I just, unfortunately for my producers, because I'm very difficult for producers, really, it's very hard. I respect them very much, but I cannot change myself. And it's very hard for producers, because I'm very unpredictable, and very often I change in the last moment everything. And it's painful.